Hi, this is my video about using essential oils to make seasoned salts, rubs, just flavored sides to what it is you're trying to accomplish for your main course, or maybe even a vegetable. So I'm going to talk about our great Vitality essential oils from Young Living. These ones are regarded as safe for consumption. If you look at the labels, there's going to be dietary recommendations on there. It's really important that you choose the Vitality oils. See, this is a regular essential oil. This one does not have the label that you can consume it. So I wouldn't use that in my cooking. I would only use the Vitality oils. When you see a lemon Vitality oil versus a lemon essential oil, they are the same product, but using your Vitality oils will ensure that you'll only use the right oils that can actually be consumed, and you can get a recommendation for how much a person should actually ingest. So today I'm going to go over a couple of recipes, but we're going to talk about the base first. With any rub or seasoned salt, you're going to have salts and sugars in them. You can do something as simple as, this is lavender infused raw sugar, 1 drop of lavender and like 3 or 4 tablespoons of sugar. And I can add this to a dessert if I like. I can add it to my tea if I'd like. So that's very lovely. Same with honeys. These are great for marinades. You can flavor just a honey and put that on your charcuterie board. It's really quite lovely. First recipe is going to deal with salt, and this is a pink Himalayan salt. This is a French sea salt, and Celtic salt looks a little bit like this one too. We also have this really great black salt that's from Hawaii, so there's some volcanic material inside of that salt. So what you choose does matter. I wouldn't use just a regular table salt. These salts have trace minerals in there that we need for our bodies. So on this particular recipe that I'm going to make today, I'm not going to choose the volcanic salt because this will make my rub look like mud. It does definitely tint what's going on, but I just thought it was worth a mention because as a salt to sprinkle on vegetables, it adds texture and a color pop and curiosity. So it's kind of fun, especially when you're feeding kids and picky eaters, because, you know, it's just kind of fun. It's like sprinkles, but it's salt. Okay, so for this recipe, I'm going to go ahead and use this pink Himalayan salt, and I have 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil and pepper and 7 cloves of garlic. I was asked why I would use essential oils over the fresh herbs, and you can see here that I have several fresh herbs available. The fennel fronds work really nicely for flavoring salts and sugar. The dill here also is really, even if you just want to keep it simple. This is sage. These are chives, rosemary, and parsley for another recipe that I'm going to show you at the end of the video. These are all great, but there's water in there and the leaves will start to decompose. So you run the problem with fresh herbs is if you're going to make a rub that you're going to keep in your cupboard, you're going to have to dry these herbs out. So the first thing that we're going to do is, it's a wet rub. It's garlic and rosemary. These are the ingredients that we need in there. So here goes my minced garlic. And this would be great on vegetables or on chicken, I would imagine would be very lovely. Anything that you would like that garlic and rosemary, you know, they'd even be good on a roasted potato salad. So I'm just going to put in my teaspoon of salt, my teaspoon of black pepper, and then it also calls for 2 drops of rosemary oil. I'm going to put these 2 drops. This method here is the spoon method. I'm going to put 2 drops of the rosemary oil on the spoon. If I got a 3rd drop, then I'd be washing the spoon off and starting again. I don't want to get any more than the 2 drops that the recipe asked for because it would be intense. And the smell here is great. I'm just going to set that aside. That recipe is done and ready to be rubbed onto something else. The other recipe that I have is actually that seasoned salt that I was talking about. I do have some of the fresh herbs, but I don't have all of them. I would simply just, take the leaves off of these herbs. And this is maybe a little more than I need. And I would put them together and I would chop them up here, or maybe use one of these great herby tools, and I would chop it all up and put it in my salt base. And the recipe calls for you to bake it to dry it out, but I don't really want to do that. I'm gonna put it in a butter and put it on fresh bread. I don't have thyme, so just to show you, this is how I would add thyme. There's a little bit of thyme in this orifice reducer. I'm gonna put some on here, and then I'm going to rub it right into the salt, because 1 drop of thyme is just gonna be too hot. I chop this up, I mix this together and mix it with my butter. If you wanted to go ahead and dry it out, it says 20 to 60 minutes to bake at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you would crush it with a mortar pestle and put it in the blender to make it fine and shelf stable. I know that was a lot of information to cover, but that's just the basics of it. Go play with it, go experiment with it, but drip with care, because you can put too many drops in so easy. That's the one part that you just need to pay a little bit of care to. And if you're looking for equivalents, then go ahead and look online. There are some really great charts to see the equivalent of how many drops to how many teaspoons of the herb that you're replacing in a recipe. Thanks for watching.